You are listening to a Snips audio production, Something Old, Something New, written by D. Scott and brought to you by JVCO Entertainment. Welcome, listen, and enjoy.
In an attempt to compensate for some embarrassing courtship mistakes, an old man realizes how precious something old can be when made new again. We open on a bachelor's apartment to the sound of a laptop keyboard clacking. Ryan, a nice-looking 20-something with his face peering at the laptop screen, types intermittently between thoughts. Behind him, senior Ryan, 30 years older than the Ryan at the laptop, looks around the room, surveying the decor, art supplies, and projects of someone whose interests are pulled in too many directions. A complete lack of focus.
Man, I remember this stuff. Sure was the life, living alone. Bring home whoever you wanted. You don't know how good you have it, punk.
Ryan continues typing, unaware of the presence in the room that only the audience can see. Ryan leans away from the screen and rubs his tired eyes.
Hey, why don't we take a peek at how the market's doing? Feeling lonely?
As if on cue, Ryan reaches for his cell phone and, lounging lazily in his chair, opens a dating app. Senior Ryan hunkers down next to Ryan and peers at the phone over his younger self's shoulder as Ryan swipes through profiles.
Swipe left. You, abort. Hey, she's cute. Swipe right on that one for later. But right now, wait for it.
Ryan stops swiping and sits up straight when he comes across the profile of Megan, female, 24, and notes that she lives only a few miles away.
Wow. And she's online. Go ahead, chat her up.
Ryan, still unaware of the senior's presence, smirks and swipes right, thinks for a second, and initiates a message.
Hey there, are you a donut? 'Cause you're all curves and sugar, baby.
Pure Shakespeare right there.
Ryan's phone chimes, LOL, that line did not end like I thought it would. Ryan smiles and types, what are you doing? The phone replies, deciding if I'm curious enough to keep talking. Ryan smiles and taps away at the phone.
Be cool, be smooth, because it's all downhill from here, punk.
Megan and Ryan are sitting at a small table at a restaurant, overdressed for a place that serves breakfast 24 hours a day. Senior Ryan, sitting between the couple and still an unseen guest, is glowering at young Ryan, obviously displeased at where the date ended up.
I'm really sorry about the restaurant. I know I made reservations.
Oh, it's okay. That place is so uptight. Besides, I love pancakes. And I was surprised you were willing to bribe the maitre d'.
You offered him $5 damn.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't as subtle as I thought.
Megan smiles as she brings a cup of coffee to her lips.
So, what do you do?
Oh, shit.
I'm an artist.
Oh, that's cool. I love art. What's your medium? Is it like Art Deco or...
Please, God. Please stop him.
Oh, probably not. It's, unorthodox, unconventional. You probably wouldn't like it.
It's weird shit.
Try me.
Smite him. Smite him down, God, and keep this secret.
Ryan mumbles incoherently.
I'm sorry?
Don't you freaking do it!
Trash. I sculpt with trash.
Senior Ryan's forehead hits the table, rattling silverware, glasses, and plates. Later, the pair of them stand in front of Megan's door. She looks at him with her hands in front of her, offering a small smile. Ryan tries to speak, but stumbles over his words.
I had a really great time tonight. Sorry about the whole awkwardness. I'm usually not like this. I mean, I don't, go out on a ton of dates or anything. You're only the second girl I've ever been out with in, forever.
Just shut up. Stop talking. Oh, you stupid, stop talking.
Relax, you did fine. I had a nice time. You were real, and that's hard to find these days.
Seriously, shut up.
Tell me about it. Online dating is really damn scary.
In an instant, Megan presses her lips to Ryan, cutting him off with a kiss. Senior Ryan totally misinterprets the situation.
Oh, great. Look, she was so desperate to shut you up that she makes the first move. Real smooth, Michelangelo.
Megan ends the kiss slowly, leaving Ryan with his eyes almost glazed. Only inches away from his face, Megan whispers,
Do you want to come in?
Ryan nods, slack-jawed and slow. Megan smiles.
Great, but first you have to meet my challenge.
What?
Wait here.
Megan turns and unlocks her door. She goes in a moment and comes back with a small kitchen bag in her hand. She hands it to Ryan.
Make me something. I don't care what it is.
Ryan is speechless, but he takes the bag. It clanks with the sound of glass and aluminum cans. He gulps audibly, and she shrugs.
I like to recycle, and I would love to see your work. Make me something. If you impress me, you may get rewarded.
Megan leans toward Ryan again, who leans in, puckers his lips, but she places a quick peck of a kiss on his cheek before closing the door. Ryan stands there, realizing he's been holding his breath. Senior Ryan and Ryan are alone, and Senior Ryan turns to the oblivious Ryan.
Women, am I right?
The workshop is nothing more than the apartment complex's small one-car garage with a 6-foot folding table as a workbench, tools strewn about, and various crafted projects in various stages of production, mostly unfinished. Ryan leans on the table over the pile of plastic bottles, glass bottles, and aluminum cans. He sighs heavily at a loss. Senior Ryan stands to the side, shaking his head at all the unfinished projects.
All of this. To think, a little motivation to provide a little inspiration.
Suddenly, Ryan's phone chimes. He fishes it from his pocket and checks it. A message from Megan. It's a selfie of her smiling. Tix to museum sat. Wanna be my date? Ryan smiles and texts back, heck yeah, smiley face, and sighs.
You already know, don't you? You knew when you first met her. She's everything you ever wanted.
Ryan gets a sudden look of determination, inspired.
She is your muse.
Ryan grabs a pair of cutters and starts working on the aluminum cans.
Now, you just have to make yourself hers.
Megan is looking at some art pieces, twirling a small rose twisted and cut from an aluminum can. Ryan stands behind her, looking like he feels out of place. She notices his unease and walks back to him.
Still not feeling inspired?
Ryan shrugs, while Senior Ryan looks smug, like he knows a secret.
Well, I love my little rose. It even has rose oil on the edges.
Ryan sneaks a quick look at his own hands. His fingertips are covered in band-aids.
Yeah.
He carefully hides his hands in his pockets.
That's DNA, sweetheart.
Maybe you can make a whole bouquet. That'd be neat.
It just seems small. I feel like it deserves something really big.
And failing that, at least an awesome sculpture.
Aw, you're sweet. But this makes me happy because you made it. So, when can I come see your workshop?
Well, it's a mess at the moment. But I do have a grand plan to fix it up.
Ooh, I'd love to see it.
Not quite yet. But you will.
'Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
A vase of aluminum roses sits on a table. We see that the number of aluminum roses is growing, showing the passage of time. Megan tries to carefully slip another rose into the vase when her phone goes off. She checks it. Happy anniversary! Can you come out? A smile flashes across Megan's face as she grabs a coat and almost runs out of the apartment. It's cold outside, and Ryan stands outside, bouncing on the balls of his feet in anticipation. Megan approaches, and he beams a smile at her. They hug.
Hi. What are we doing out here?
I wanted to show you something. You remember when I said you deserved something, like, really big?
Megan looks a little confused, but excited. Ryan rolls open the workshop's garage door, and the two of them are covered in light. Senior Ryan walks in without a jacket or anything to protect him from the cold, but a light shirt, stands with his hands in his pockets looking humble and hopeful, and, though the young ones cannot see him, he sweeps a half-hearted arm to the room.
Ta-da!
Megan's mouth hangs open as she sees what Ryan has created. A fully decorated room of sculptures all intertwined together to make a massive display. Within the glass bottles are various light bulbs giving off a gentle glow as tubes of twisted plastic bottles turn the various Christmas lights and create a whimsical flashing display. She turns slowly to take it all in, even the ceiling, before finally letting her eyes settle on the far wall with aluminum flowers of all designs intricately spelling out a solemn request. Megan covers her mouth with her hand and turns to Ryan.
Megan, I knew it the instant I first met you.
Ryan's voice catches in his throat a second, and he has to cough to clear it. Senior Ryan suddenly looks nervous.
Come on, man. Just like we practiced.
I knew when I met you that you were incredibly, unbelievably special. I was in awe of you. And you didn't know. You still don't know how amazing you are. You inspired me in so many ways.
Megan is crying now, and Senior Ryan looks on in tearful pride.
This has been the happiest few years of my life, and all I want is to try and make you as happy as I can for as long as you will let me, for as long as I can.
Ryan slowly drops down to one knee and reaches into his pocket. Megan has to stifle a sudden urge to cry out as her eyes well in tears. Ryan presents a small ring in his hands to Megan.
Megan Reiner, will you allow me to be your husband?
Megan, tears streaming down her face, lunges and takes Ryan's face in her hands, kissing him and toppling both of them over to the ground.
You did it. You magnificent son of a bitch. You really did it.
Megan, on top of Ryan, nods and sobs yes as he helps her put the ring on her finger. They manage to get to a sitting position, still kissing passionately and throwing their arms about each other and holding on tight. Senior Ryan sighs and lets his eyes close as the scene fades away. Senior Ryan has his eyes closed, a look of contentment on his face. As if in a dream, he can hear the echo of his bride's voice.
Ryan!
Senior Ryan shakes from his reverie and finds himself no longer in the tiny garage he used as a workshop, but a real studio with a real bench and tools, proudly organized. He is holding a clanking bag in his left hand and some cutting tools in his right. He looks at the bag and chuckles, turning to the sound of his wife's voice. Senior Megan, 30 years older than the Megan we have seen, walks to her husband beaming with love and joy. Senior Ryan can't help but smile as she approaches.
What have you been doing out here? Are you getting too old to work?
No, babe. I was just thinking. Lost in thought, I guess. I was just, thinking about how it all began. When we first met and all. I was such a mess that night. You ever wonder sometimes if we could have done everything all over, but just a little differently?
Senior Megan, who nodded and as her husband spoke, muses a moment. Senior Megan leans over the younger Megan's shoulder as she looks at Ryan's online profile. They both giggle and bite at their lips.
He is too cute. Curves and sugar? That is so cheesy. That may be my new favorite line. Message him.
Trying to calm herself, Megan lets out a long exhale and hits the send button. Senior Megan sits to Megan's left, watching as Ryan gets excited as he talks about a sculpture he's envisioned. He's animated and starry-eyed, and Megan and Senior Megan are enamored by his energy.
Look how excited he gets. I love how he talks. I could just listen to him all day.
I'm sorry, I get so wrapped up in my own head.
No, go on. It's actually really interesting.
Megan stands at her door, looking hopeful at Ryan as he stammers with his words. Senior Megan is right over her right shoulder, obviously excited.
Well, what are you waiting for? Get in there.
As if on cue, Megan leans in quickly and pulls Ryan into a passionate kiss. Senior Megan sighs contentedly. Senior Megan opens her eyes and for a moment sees the young Ryan she fell in love with and loved more with each passing day. She smiles with tears welling in her eyes.
No, gorgeous. I wouldn't change a thing.
The end.
This has been a Snips audio production. Something old, something new. Young Ryan and Senior Ryan was played by Daemon Archer. Young Megan and Senior Megan was played by VPierce Voice. Story was narrated by Reed Phillips Donat. The story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. This production was brought to you by JVCO Entertainment. Thank you for listening.